Welcome to the next chapter in our training series. This chapter is titled Definition Queries. In this chapter, we will take a deep dive into the world of definition queries, starting with a simple query and building to more complex queries. Definition queries allow you to define a subset of features to work with in a layer by filtering which features are retrieved from the dataset by the layer. Essentially, it is a way to limit your data without deleting or removing features. For example, let's say we have a layer of all counties within the United States. Using a definition query, we can limit the data to only show counties with a population over 1 million people. Or we could show counties by filtering on name or income. In this chapter, we will also demonstrate how to add multiple clauses to a query, how to group clauses and the different types of operators like equals to and includes the values of. Let's get started. If you remember in the last chapter, we can access the layer properties by double-clicking on a layer name. Here, I will double-click on my layer of USA counties. This will give us the layer properties, and then we can click on Definition Query. Let's click here on New Definition Query to get started. And then we will see this screen. Our first step is to select a field to begin our clause. For this example, we are looking at a layer of all counties in the United States. In this query, let's limit the data to only show counties in Colorado. My field will be state name. My operator will stay as equal to, and my attribute will be Colorado. Let's hit apply and then OK. You can see now only counties in Colorado are showing up on the map. Again, this definition query is limiting the data to only show Colorado counties. Let's double-click again on the counties layer, and then click on Edit to edit the existing definition query. Let's then add another clause by clicking Add Clause. This time, I want to limit the data by state name and population. For this field, I'm going to click on Population 2020, and then click on is greater than. And then I will type in 50,000, click Apply, and then apply again. I'll just move the layer properties off the screen for now. As you can see now, there are about 15 counties in Colorado with a population of over 50,000. This time, let's take a quick look at grouping clauses. I'm going to keep the first two clauses and add a third. For this one, I will add an or statement saying area in square miles is greater than 2,000. However, before clicking apply, I first want to group my or statement. Essentially, I want to bracket the last two clauses inside parentheses. To do that, I'm going to first highlight the last two clauses, and then come up here under Query 1 and click this little group button. As you can see, my last two clauses are now grouped together. Let's click Apply and Apply. Now, when I move my properties away, you can see quite a few more counties are being displayed. That's because we are looking at all counties in Colorado that have a population over 50,000 or have a land area of over 2,000 square miles. Okay, now that we have a good introduction to definition queries, let's dig a little deeper into the capabilities. First off, let's take a quick look at the different operators available with definition queries. Let's go back to our original filter of counties in Colorado. In our previous examples, we used the operators for is equal to and is greater than. When I click on this down arrow, you can see the full list of operators. As you can see, it is a very large list. A few of these that I occasionally use are is not equal to, contains the text, includes the values of, and is null. Let's switch to includes the values of. This time, I will set the query to say state name. Includes the values of Arizona, Colorado, and Idaho. Then click Apply and OK. Now, when I zoom out, you can see that every county in those three states are being displayed. This is an easy way to view a subset of specific data. Okay, back to our definition query. Includes the values of is a valuable operator because you no longer have to set multiple clauses to select all of your data. It is much easier to check mark the attributes you want to show rather than adding multiple queries. Another operator I like to use is contains the text of. This is valuable when you have a bunch of irregular data like street names. In this example, let's show all counties that contain the name Wash. So county name contains the text Wash. Let's click OK. After I set this filter and hit apply, you can see there are wildcards before and after the word wash. This query will select all county names that contain this word. We will now be able to see all of the counties that contain the word wash. Let's open and view this attribute table. You can see most of the counties are Washington. However, there are a few other county names like Washburn and Washita. Back to our query. In previous examples, we also showed the is greater than operator. Operators like greater and less than can also be valuable for queries. In this last piece, I want to show the SQL toggle button found here. Let's first set a couple queries on our counties layer. Let's say state name is equal to Colorado and population is greater than 50,000. Now let's toggle this SQL button. When I do that, you will get a screen like this. Now for the ArcMap users, this screen will look familiar. This is what definition queries used to look like. Even though we have a new expression builder, we can still use the old school method of building SQL queries. We can also copy and paste our queries from ArcMap into this window here. Okay, I am going to toggle this back to our regular expression builder. Now, one of the most exciting aspects of definition queries in ArcGIS Pro is the ability to set multiple queries. I am going to leave this query as is and then click on the new definition query button up here at the top. This is going to give me another query. In this one, I'm going to say county name is equal to Adams County. Now, we have two different queries set. The reason I really like this ability is you can set as many queries as you would like. All you have to do to switch queries is check mark the active one. So for example, I can check mark the second query and it will now be active. And then back to the first query. In the past, we would have to copy and paste our queries to a notepad and then replace them each time we had a new query. Now we can just leave as many queries as we would like. Such an improvement. Okay, that's it for definition queries. Please feel free to practice by setting multiple queries using different operators and statements. In the next chapter, we will offer some more tips and tricks for working with definition queries.